ball through the pitcher's legs, through the center fielder's legs. I ran around the bases, and they gave me a grand slam. Right? That's a good start. This is true. And then the next time I got up, I hit another grand slam. Ground ball through the pitcher's legs, through the center fielder's legs, and ran around the bases. So I'm 2 for 2 with 8 RBIs, 2 home runs. But it was a good start. So that really then was the time, and we won. We beat the Yankees 31-0. Okay, you remember that you've had kids go through Little League and whatnot. They have that 9 players go to the back in an inning, and that's it. That's when that started. The day after, the game after that, they changed the whole rules because we just. I see there's a Yankee fan. It's just true. I'm sorry about that, but thank you, Yankee and national fans too. But so that was my start. Now, professionally, I got called to the big leagues in 1983. We were in Hawaii. Our AAA team was in Hawaii, of all places, right? So 3 guys got called up: myself, Mike Pilecki, and a guy named Bob Ochenko, who was a pretty good pitcher for Cincinnati. He was finishing his career in AAA. So we go to the airport, and there's supposed to be tickets for us to fly to Houston to start our careers. And there's no tickets. The Pirates forgot to leave the tickets. Well, I don't have a credit card. Pilecki don't have a credit card. Ochenko, who had played in the big leagues for a while, had a credit card. Thanks God, he paid for our tickets, or we weren't going to Houston. We weren't getting called up. Now that's pretty disappointing when you wait your whole life to get called to the big leagues and you can't go because nobody has any money. So we flew 8 hours to Houston, and like Peter was saying, I faced Nolan Ryan my first time. I'm sitting on the bench and I'm saying, give me a shot at this guy. Give me a shot at this guy. Hey, I'm 21. Now guys got called up when they're 26. It's like he's a young guy now. If you were 26, in my day, you were out of baseball. But anyway, I'm sitting there. I want this guy. I'm not afraid of him. 5-0, 9th inning. They call me up to pinch hit. I said, all right, here we go. Well, I don't know what I'm in for. It's the first pitch. I'm trying to hit a home run. I'm not up there to hit a single on my first career at-bat. I'm trying to hit a home run. So he throws a fastball. I swing as hard as I can, and I whiff. Strike 1. Okay, no problem. Next pitch, he throws a high fastball to me, and I take it. It was a curveball in the dirt. So now I'm thinking now. I thought this was a high fastball. Ended up being a curveball in the dirt. So now I'm realizing I might have a problem. The next pitch he threw was a fastball away. I swung as hard as I could and I struck out. But I'll tell you this, I'd rather strike out against Nolan Ryan than hit a home run off somebody you guys nobody heard of in my first big league at-bat. Makes a good story anyway, I think. So now we fly to Atlanta.
By the way, it checks out.
I'll have to trust you on that. So we fly from Houston to Atlanta, and it's game of the week, Saturday. And it's bases loaded. We're losing to Atlanta by 3 runs. And they call on me to pinch hit. I think it was 1 out. And Steve Bedrosian was pitching. He was the Cy Young Award winner that year. So now I get up against Bedrosian, and 1, 2, 3, and I strike out. And I'm not happy. Game on the line and everything. So I'm walking back to the dugout, and the game of the week, they follow you. I just come from AAA, and I am just cursing up and down all the way to the dugout. And I wasn't even thinking about being on camera. My old high school coach called me up and says, yeah, Joe, how you doing? I saw you cursing on national TV yesterday. I said, oh my God, my mom was watching that game too. So she never said anything, but I learned a lesson right there. Finally, I did get 2 hits in the next game. My Pirates, Willie Starger was our first base coach. He retired in 82, I come up in 83. And I had 38 stolen bases when I was in AAA. Now I'm in the big leagues, and I get on, and they give me the steal, and I get out there. I'm going. I'm going. I start taking off, I get picked off. So I got a hit, I got picked off. All right. Next time up, I get another hit. And I got picked off. I was going to steal in too. Now the third time up, I got another hit, 3 for 3. Would be having a good day if I would get picked off. Starter grabs my belt, and I'm trying to get off the base. He says, what are you trying to do, get me fired? Like they were gonna fire him anyway, but. All right. So, we go to New York, we're playing the Mets. Dwight Gooden, everybody's heard of Dwight Gooden, right? So he's rookie year, that was 80, this is 84, I believe. He's going for the rookie all-time strikeout game. He had 16, I believe he had 16 over 17, and now I'm going to pinch hit. Now I'm in the on-deck circle. When I was in AAA, I swung a sledgehammer on the on-deck circle to get ready, you know, my weight shift and all that. And Ralph Kiner is doing the game. Everybody hear of Ralph Kiner, hit 50 home runs, great hitter, and everybody's watching on television. The local people, they all know me because I'm from the area, you know. And Kiner says, I feel sorry for Joe Orsulak. He looks like he's getting ready for his winter job. That's real, you know. Well, Gooden was tough. So on about the fourth pitch of the at-bat, I got a hit. My heart was pounding so hard, it didn't even seem like he was going that fast, you know? And I got a hit, and I got on first base and keep it in. I said, way to go, kid. Then he struck out the next guy to break the record, so I didn't want to get in the record book for that. Okay. All right. We go now with the Orioles. We go to Yankee Stadium, and Walt Terrell, somebody you probably heard of him, he's pitching for the Yankees. And in my career off Walt Terrell, at that time, I was 0 for 10, so that doesn't put me in the lineup for that day. Well, so now they call me from the clubhouse. Tony Kubek wants to talk to you in the dugout. Did I turn it off? In the dugout for the game. I'm saying, what does Tony Kubek want to talk to me about? You know, we got Cal Ripken, Eddie Murray, and whoever. So I go down, I sit next to Kubek. He says, Joe, I see you're hitting cleanup today. You got, 3 home runs and 1,000 at-bats, and how do you feel about that? And I said, well, what are you going to do? He said, well, I said, Tony, I'm just going to be myself, try to get a good pitch, hit a line drive, play my game. Well, the first time I got up, first inning, I hit a sacrifice fly. The next time up, I homered into the right center field bleachers. The next time up, I homered into the right center field bleachers. Now, I'm just playing my game. That's what I told him. So I had this, I got another hit in the game and ended up being player of the week. But it was kind of ironic because Tony Kubek was kind of not really making fun of me, and I was just playing it down, just going to do my own thing. And I got 2 home runs in the game of the week against a guy I never got a hit off. So that was and the kicker was I had left 50 passes. My mom and dad, uncles and aunts and everybody, because they live in Parsippany, New Jersey, Cedar Grove in that area. And it was probably the best game I ever had in front of the home crowd, which kind of sticks with you when you do good in front of the parents and everybody else. So that was a big game for me. I never was a famous player, but I have, or even sought fame in the game. But at times I have become famous and will never be forgotten. One time, I don't know if you remember Bo Jackson running up the ball on that catch. They did that big thing out of about every other year. I hit that ball. That's true, check it out, I did. And it was like 15 years later, it must have been on ESPN or something, and my buddy calls me up and he says, yeah, I saw Bo Jackson robbing you of a double or triple or whatever. I said, what are you talking about? Well, I hit the ball, and what players used to do when they hit the ball, it's going to be a double or triple, is they put their head down and ran. We weren't, Cadillacing around, thinking, observing it. I never knew that I was the guy that hit Bo Jackson, hit that ball. I hit the ball to Bo Jackson, never knew. Just saw him run up the ball. I said, yeah, that's great. That was me.
Huh.
So I got famous. Other than that, you try to stand by the Hall of Famers during a team picture, if you can do that. So we go, I got married in '88. Now I'm at Shea's Stadium. I'm playing, I don't remember who I'm playing for, it doesn't matter. Oh, I was with the Pirates. I was playing with the Pirates. Anyway, I hit a foul ball, and my best man at my wedding caught it. That's something. That's once in a million thing, right? I think he went over 2 guys and a small child to get it too. Knowing the way he was, they told me he reached in front of a few people to get it. So that was a kind of a non-baseball type highlight, for me. Other than that, I think Peter covered most of the stuff. I mean, I will talk about the record I have for the Orioles. I think that stands for like 32 years now. And that's a record I think might hold on for a long time, because back then, because I played with Cal Sr. he was superstitious, and he thought if we didn't take infield practice every day, that Cal might get hurt or something. So we took it every day. And the good thing about that is, to throw people out from the outfield, you have to be very accurate on a long throw, to give your infielders a chance to throw to the next guy and so on and so forth. They don't practice that anymore, so I think that's a record that may stand for a while. And that's all I got for now. Any questions, I'd be happy to talk about.
Joe, the last time you and I spoke was at Cora Kelly Elementary School in Alexandria, Virginia, 1982. You were on the Alexandria Dukes, and you were one of the 3 position players who made the major leagues, and that was the only baseball park I ever went to that did not serve beer, because it was on school grounds of an elementary school. I lived right across the border in Arlington then, and you had a really good year there, and my friends, whenever we go to minor league games, we always try to predict who would be a major leaguer, and you were among 4 or 5 of us, you were the unanimous pick, and so you made us correct in our scouting, and you guys won the Carolina League Championship that year.
Yep, that's right. I do have a good story about that. We played in the, what was it? You said it was a junior high school or something?
It was in elementary.
Elementary school. Very small little room. And in the minor leagues, you don't get bat orders, but once a year. So John Lippon, who some of you historians might know, was a good player for Cleveland Indians. He was our manager, older guy. And the rule was, when you get bats, you do not swing the bats in the clubhouse, period. Well, I got a bat order in. So you know what I'm doing? I'm swinging my bats in the clubhouse. Well, there was a little entrance, and I'm swinging my bat, and Lippon, our manager, walked through the door, hit flush in the chest with the bat.
Oh, God.
I told you not to swing the bats in the clubhouse! That was that. Question. Yeah, we did win the championship. That was a fun year. All the way back.
Can you confirm this from a friend of mine who's an eyewitness to it? So you and Cal could get into discussions post-game. Maybe even a little brawl every now and then?
A little what?
Brawl?
No.
You know?
Are you kidding me? I want to keep my job. if I get in a fight with Cal, and God forbid something happened to him, I'd be gone. No, we played hockey and field hockey, street type of hockey in the clubhouse in the off season. We played basketball at Bryn Mawr and then Cal's house when he had a basketball court. But we never got in real fights. Maybe some roughhousing. You're talking about a little wrestling or stuff like that. You know, just playing around kind of stuff. But no.
It wasn't in God rest his soul, Ernie Tyler told me the story, and he said, it wasn't that. It meant how competitive you guys.
Oh yeah, and young guys messing around, and you're just doing young guy stuff, but no fist fights or anything like that. And Freddie, or was it Ernie or Freddie?
Ernie.
Ernie, yeah. I'm sure he remembered it better than I did, but I didn't. We also had drinking was also involved, so we didn't remember everything.
By the way, it's a story that Ben tells that Billy Ripken, he cheating on the answers for double jeopardy with the rookies.
I'm sure it is. And then we did a lot of stupid things back then. I remember Dave Gallagher. You remember Dave Gallagher? Played for the O's and a few other teams. Well, Greg Olson, our pitcher, he did the crossword puzzles in pen. Pretty smart guy, you know, great pitcher. So Gallagher's standing behind Olson. He's looking at the crossword puzzle, and there's like a 17-word crossword, and he's looking at it and looking at it. He says, "Olin, I know the answer to this one. Italian author." He says, "What is it?" He says, "Herman Boldini." He made it up. He made it up. So Olson writes it down and makes it fits for it lined up with some other words. You know, he wasn't happy about that. But, you know, we did stuff like that now and again. So, you know, keeping it light.
Your favorite umpire or your least favorite, and any good umpire stories?
I got thrown out of 13 games in the big leagues. So I didn't get along good with the umpires too much. You know, I will tell you, call third strikes made me upset. I would say upset. So I say what I need to say and we go home. I had a few. One particular seemed to have it out for me. Threw me out of 3 games. Bill Hahn, his name was. Didn't care for him a bit. And as a matter of fact, he threw me out twice in one season. And Bobby Brown, I think, was the president, and he was sending me a fine. It's like $500, you know, $250 first time, $500 the second, then you get suspended. And I called him and I said, "Look, this guy's, you know, he's got it out for me, this and that." And I complained, and he didn't send me a fine because of that. I guess sometimes they will check out the tape, and you know, for some reason, you know, you just don't get along with everybody. I know it's hard to believe with me, but it's true. Yes, sir.
So I think when you played for the Mets, Frank Howard was a coach. Do you have any stories about Frank Howard?
I do. So Frank Hondo, as we call him, about 6'10". I mean, he killed the outfielders. Hondo was different than anybody I ever met. So we were in St. Louis, and I walked into the club out. St. Louis, they had a sauna, a little small sauna in there. And I walked by the sauna, and Frank in there, he only wore a jockstrap and nothing else in the clubhouse until he got dressed again. And he's got a weight, and he's pumping that weight. Come on, Hondo, be the best you can be the best you can be, Hondo, come on. He was talking himself up. And now we're in a game, and he positioned the outfielders. Now, by that point, I had 8 or 9 years in the big leagues. I did what I wanted out there. I knew the players. I positioned myself. I didn't need Hondo. So I'm in right field, and Hondo gets up there, top step, with a towel, big white towel, and you can't miss him. He's 6'10", and he's waving at me. He's waving at me. He's waving at me. And I'm like this. And he's waving at me. Waving at me. Goes down the steps and fires his towel down there. He was mad, upset. So I said, "No, I'm not doing that." So he was funny to work with, and he never said a word to me. I learned early in my career that you do what you want, but you better be right. And if you don't think you're going to be right, you do what the coaches tell you, because the coaches will always say, "Great job," as long as you catch the ball and do what you're supposed to do. But even if it's not what they said. So, but Hondo was a tremendous guy.
What happened on that ball after you shook him up?
Well, he didn't hit it to me.
Okay.
But I knew where to play if he did hit it in my direction. I faced the guy. The hitter was Mel Hall. I knew how he hit. I watched how he hit, and in certain games he tried to pull everything. In other games he tried to hit the ball the other field, opposite field. And he'd stay with that the whole game, and I knew that because I played, you know, a while against the guy. So strike zone in the National League was a little bit lower in the beginning. I think when they got rid of these, they changed the chest protectors, they came closer to the same. National League is a speed game. You ran. I mean, you ran. Like the St. Louis Cardinals, they had all those guys stealing 30 bases. Vince Coleman, the whole league ran. In the American League, you didn't run. You had to DH, and nobody wanted to make outs on the bases. In the National League, of course, you got the pitcher that's got to hit, and the catcher, generally speaking, wasn't great hitters. So you try to manufacture more runs in the National League. I thought that the defense was better in the National League too, probably because of the speed factor. American League was a bigger guy, stronger guy, hit the ball, a home run league more than the National League, in my view.
So your first year in Baltimore was '88. Of course, the Orioles unfortunately lost the first 21 games. What was it like just coming there as a new player? And I will say this, I remember on opening day, you guys lost 12-0, but the highlight was you threw a guy out at home.
You know what? I was going to say that when you brought it up. We were getting stomped by Milwaukee, I think. Yeah. And somebody hits me a fly ball, probably in medium depth, and they're tagging up trying to score, make it 13-0. That really pissed me off. And I chucked that guy out, and that was a highlight for me too. I think, you're going to beat us 12-0, you're going to beat us 13-0. Hey, that's how competitive you got to be to play at this level. I mean, you're going to beat my butt, but I'm not going to make it easy on you if you can help it. But yeah, that was the highlight. It was embarrassing, is what it was. And I contributed like everybody else. I mean, I dropped the fly ball with the bases loaded. We were already losing 9-0. So I said I didn't feel like I really contributed to the loss. But man, when people are watching on TV and you're dropping fly balls with the bases loaded, it doesn't look good. It's a bad look. And then the fans come to the airport and they're supporting us. It's embarrassing that 5,000 or 10,000 fans have to show up to keep our spirits up. That's how bad we are. You know what I mean? I mean, we appreciate the fans coming, but we put ourselves in a position where the fans got to come out 12 o'clock at night and support the team. It was embarrassing as far as I was concerned, because we played that bad. But you know, you get over it, move on, and I had forgotten all about it until you just brought it up. Thank you.
Well, to follow up on that, you were also on the '89 Orioles that almost finished first. Can you talk about some of the experiences of that season?
We were a great team, I would say, as far as there was no jealousy on the team. Everybody was for the other guy. Even if, I was a fourth outfielder, and I rooted for the fifth outfielder when he was playing and I wasn't, and so on and so forth. There was no jealousy. As a matter of fact, on most teams, the jealousy comes from the wives, not the players. The players aren't jealous like that. But we played together. We played free. Everybody had each other's backs, and we weren't worried about losing or winning. You know, the key to that season for me was the first game of the year, because we come off 21 in a row the year before. Winning that first game is the hardest. Getting that first hit is the hardest. Getting that first win as a pitcher is the hardest. And after that, you kind of relax and you do what you do. Well, we were losing that game to Clemens, and Cal did a 3-run homer, and we won against probably one of the top 3 or 4 pitchers in the league. And then everything was taken off our shoulders. We were able to relax and play. Because I'm holding my breath, because I played on the team the year before, and I couldn't believe we could lose 21 in a row. But we did. As a matter of fact, this is no joke. At one point, I thought we might not win a game the entire season. It sounds funny, but that's the way it felt. I don't know if we can win a game. Yes, sir.
Any truth to the rumor at all that you were once in ministry or priesthood?
No.
That's what I thought.
Praise Jesus. Yes, sir.
What was the difference playing for Johnny Oates as compared to Frank Robinson? Can you tell what the difference?
Well, Frank was more like seat of your pants kind of manager. He'd do things sometimes unorthodox. Johnny O's was more of an odds one. He would be what you would call, what do they call these guys now?
Analytics?
An analytical guy, you know. Believe it or not, people, this is just not invented with Mike Elias. Or is that his name, the GM? I mean, analytics has been around forever. They just put a new name to it. You know, when we had meetings before every series, this guy hits the ball this way, this guy hits the ball deep, this guy does the bunts, this guy hits the ball on the ground this way, hits the ball in the air this way. This was not invented yesterday. The difference is now they make a big deal out of it. And I didn't need a pad in my pocket because I was paying attention during a meeting, you know, and they went over everybody. There were the starting pitchers, they were starting in the series. You know, you don't have to talk about the other guy. And all relievers, and we knew this guy throws between 90 and 95. His best pitch is a curveball, his best pitch is a fastball, his ball sinks, it does this, it does that. So we did analytics, they just didn't call it that years ago. Now it's like some genius that never played baseball is trying to get a job, is what I think, but whatever, that's another story.
One more question?
You talked a minute ago about the difference between National and American League. What do you think now about them trying to align the two, putting the designated hitter into the National, and then also some of the other rule changes, like the ghost runner on second, canceling the shift, etc.?
I didn't really care about the ghost runner much, but I mean, I talked to people about it, and a lot of people are in favor of it. They want to speed up the game. We played 18 inning games if we had to. You just played it until it was over. And if you ran out of pitchers, well, that was just too bad. What was the other first thing you mentioned in National League? Oh yeah, the DH, right? I'm all for it. You know, I think it gives an extra hitter a job, for one thing. Is pitchers can't bunt. They are poor base runners. I don't think it adds anything to the game as far as watching a pitcher run the bases with a jacket on. And so I have no problem with that. I do like the pitch clock. Guys, that's another thing. If you haven't figured it out by the time you step it on the mound, you're not going to figure it out. I don't care how long you stand there and you're trying to think, oh, wait a minute, on an 0-2 count, with 2 men on base, 85% of the time he throws what was that? You know, come on, get it and throw it, and you should know ahead of time. Old days, that's why the old time on a game was so much less. Guys knew it. Most guys got in the box and hit. They didn't get out of the box. Some did. But for speed up the game that way. Know what you're doing.
What about banning the shift?
Loved it. I had I was in the office with Buck Scholor when I was doing radio. He let me in the office and he says to me, how about that Manny Machado at third base? And I said, well, Buck, I don't know. I haven't seen him play third base yet this year. You know, being smart, but he was playing shortstop, short right field, wherever. He wasn't playing third base. There's a guy that could do what Brooks Robinson did his whole career, and they're taking that away by not playing out of position. I just didn't like it at all. And, you know, guys can't make adjustments anymore. If I played there, I'd hit 400 if they did that. But of course they wouldn't have done that because I would have been hitting the ball to the big hole. So they would have moved back and there wouldn't have been a shift. Guys aren't capable of that. But I do like this isn't slow pitch softball. You know, I think they're taking away from the game when they're stuffing all these guys in one. I don't like it. But I'm glad that they're taking the shift away. Yes, sir.
You ended your career in Montreal. Any thoughts about that as a baseball city and
No.
about that stadium there?
No way. No way they should have a stadium, a baseball team. They got, when I was there, we had Pedro Martinez, and a lot of guys. Pedro was going for 300 strikeouts on one night, and we had 3,000 people there. Now, granted, we weren't in first place, but we had a decent record. And nobody's showing up. If it's a baseball town, guys going for the Montreal record or 300 strikeouts, baseball fans are showing up for that. The real fans. They don't have them. When we won a big game, when Pedro got that 300 strikeouts, the front page was covered with hockey. Now, that's fine. But when something great happens in a major league game, historic, and it's not even covered with like the 6th page on the whatever mail and something to mail that the paper they use. Golden Mail. I don't think it's a baseball town. The stadium wasn't great, but back then a lot of stadiums weren't great. They still got people in them. You know, when the Phillies were good, that stadium they played in was not a good stadium, and they sell out. I mean, I don't think they deserve a team.
Thanks, Joe.